One Piece, the anime we all know and the ones of us with patience all love. But if you ask any One Piece fan what the best part of the series is, there's a pretty solid chance that most of us will agree: the world building. And one of my personal favorite aspects of this is when Oda ties in real-world history, mythology, and places to give a strong foundation for his story. So today I'm going to be covering 120 times that Oda gave us some historic reference throughout One Piece. Now, I'm in no way saying that this is every reference. In fact, just after a quick skim through this series, I ended up cutting about 50 or so. So if you have a different reference that you really loved, be sure to let me know in the comments, and if I make a part 2, it might get in there. Before we begin though, if you do enjoy this video and you want to see more anime content on this channel, be sure to leave a like, and if you are new here, remember to subscribe and ring the bell so that YouTube actually remembers to tell you when new content is uploaded. But with all that out of the way, let's get started. Number 1. Gol D. Roger. Likely based on Henry Every, a pirate who was active around 1695. Every was known as the King of the Pirates and collected a wealth of treasure worth about $400 million today. He also had the largest bounty in the world, sitting at about $700,000. Number 2. The New World. Henry Every vanished into the Caribbean, or the New World as it was called, with his treasure, kind of like how the One Piece is hidden at the end of the New World in the anime. Number 3. Roger's death. On Roger's death, he declared that he left all of his treasure in one piece, kicking off the Great Pirate Era. Well, the real-world pirate, Olivier Levasseur, was also executed in a public place on scaffolding, and upon his death he threw a secret message into the crowd, saying that he hid his treasure worth about $200 million today all in one place. Number 4. The Poneglyphs. On the topic of Levasseur's secret note, it was hidden in what's called a cryptogram. Basically a message that's hidden in text, likely inspiring the poneglyphs. Number 5. Lucky Roo. Lucky Roo is based off the Maurice de Biver's comic called Lucky Luke. This was the story about a man who shoots faster than his shadow. Number 6. Alvida. Alvida is named after the pirate Awilda. She was a woman who pretended to be a man to lead her crew, however she later became the Queen of Denmark. That being said, historians aren't sure if she actually existed. However, the story of her pretending to be a man and then later becoming a queen might reflect Alvida's change in design. Number 7. Zoro. The only straw hat to be named after a real-world pirate, Roronoa, comes from the Japanese pronunciation of Francois L'Olonnais. L'Olonnais was one of the most cruel and dangerous pirates of all time. An example of this is when he held the town hostage, and when a ship was sent to save the town, he managed to behead every member of its crew except for one, leaving them alive only to spread his story. This likely attributes to Zoro's more aggressive side. Furthermore, the name Zoro itself, as well as the overall design for his character, are likely inspired by Zorro, created by Johnston McCulley in 1919, as seen in his trademark mask and sword wielding. Number 8. Kyutoryu. Against Kaku, Zoro awakens Kyutoryu, giving him the appearance of having 6 arms and 3 heads like the deity Asura. Number 9. Axe-Hand Morgan. Much like the rum, this ex-marine was also named after the historical pirate Sir Henry Morgan. Number 10. Silver's Rayleigh. His name is likely connected to both Long John Silver from Treasure Island and Sir Walter Raleigh, who was an English explorer in the 16th century. Number 11. Usopp. Usopp's name comes from a combination of the Greek storyteller Aesop and the Japanese word for lie, Uso. Put them together and you get Usopp, a character who makes up fake stories. Number 12. Django. Django's design and mannerisms are largely linked to Michael Jackson and Steven Tyler. Number 13. The Going Merry. The Merry was a caravel ship, known for being able to travel through seas and inland rivers due to their light weight. They were often faster and more agile than larger ships, so merchants favored them. However, they were also known for being fairly fragile, which is probably why the ship fell apart. Number 14. Sanji. The backstory involving Sanji being locked up in a prison while wearing a steel mask is based on the Man in the Iron Mask, a story of a French royal who was imprisoned in the same way. Number 15. Zeph. Zeph is based off Red Legs Greaves, a pirate from Barbados who was active in the 1670s. The term redleg was used to refer to poor white people living in colonial Barbados at the time. Number 16. Dracule Mihawk. His design is based on a mixture of Dracula and the swordsman from the Spanish Golden Age. Number 17. Logtown. Logtown was designed to resemble Florence. The Florence Cathedral and Villa de' Medici can be found in Logtown and are staples in Florence history. Number 18. Bogard. Garp's right-hand man was designed to resemble Humphrey Bogart, specifically in his role from Casablanca. Number 19. Vivi Nefertari. Nefertari is an ancient Egyptian name used to describe the queen and princess, meaning the most beautiful. It was also the name of Pharaoh Ramses' wife. Number 20. Miss Golden Week. Miss Golden Week's real name was Marianne, and she was named after the flag bearer of freedom in Eugene Delacroix's Liberty Leading the People painting, which is also probably why she uses paint to hypnotize her enemies. Number 21. Crocodile. Crocodile's design was based largely on the idea of an Italian mob boss, while his hook hand is based on the stereotypical pirate trope. Number 22. Bon Clay. Bon Clay is an Okama, which is pretty apparent in the series. Okama is basically the Japanese LGBT, and they have plenty of references in Japanese art and history going back at least to the 1700s. Number 23. Kinderella. Wapple's wife Kinderella is based on Cinderella. Number 24. Chopper. Chopper is based on Robert L. May's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, despite having a blue nose himself. Number 25. Monster Point. Chopper's Monster Point closely resembles the Algonquin story of the Wendigo, a towering, man-eating monster with antlers. Number 26. Alabasta. The country itself resembles ancient Egypt, however its name comes from alabaster, a mineral commonly found in ancient Egyptian artifacts. Number 27. Nefertari Cobra. Named after the king cobra, as cobras were used to represent royalty in ancient Egypt. Number 28. Nefertari Titi. Vivi's mom was named after the 20th dynasty queen of Egypt named Nefertiti. Number 29. Ace. Ace's attacks often have historic or religious bases. For example, Great Flame Commandment Flame Emperor most likely refers to Entei or Yandi, a legendary pre-dynastic figure from Chinese myth. Number 30. Chaka. Chaka represents the jackal, one of the guardian spirits in Alabasta, and a reflection on Anubis in Egypt. Number 31. Much like Chaka, Pel represents the falcon, one of the guardian spirits in Alabasta, and a reflection on Horus in Egypt. Number 32. Mr. Four. Mr. Four's real name is Babe, and he is named after Babe Ruth. Number 33. Baroque Works. The number system that's used in Baroque Works is likely a reference to Spectre in the James Bond series. It is also tied to Crocodile's very Bond villain type appearance. Number 34. Jesus Burgess. He's named after, well, Jesus, and shares the same birthday of Christmas. His last name, however, comes from Samuel Burgess, an English pirate from the 18th century. Number 35. Bellamy. Named after Samuel Bellamy, one of the wealthiest pirates in history who sailed in the 18th century. Number 36. Van Augur. Likely named after John Augur, while his personality and abilities are more likely tied to Adolphus from the adventures of Baron Munchausen. Adolphus was known to be able to shoot through an apple stem from a distance. Number 37. Doc Q. Likely based off the Horseman of Death, who is known to be very tall and to wield a scythe on horseback. Number 38. Marshall D. Teach. Marshall Teach was named after Edward Teach, the real-world Blackbeard. However, he also went by another name, being Edward Thatch, which might be why Thatch's death is what set Blackbeard's plan in motion in the anime. Number 39. Doflamingo Don Quixote. Named after the character Don Quixote from the novel El Ingenioso Hidalgo Don Quixote de la Mancha. And on top of that, Rocinante, Doflamingo's brother, is named after Don Quixote's horse. Number 40. Bartholomew Kuma. Named after Bartholomew Black Bart Roberts, a Welsh pirate who was active in the early 1700s. He was most known for taking over 400 ships in his conquest. However, Roberts' death is what ended the Great Pirate Age in our world, so look for Kuma playing an important role at the end of One Piece. Number 41. Whitebeard, Edward Newgate. The Edward portion of his name comes from Blackbeard, same as Marshall Teach. However, the Newgate portion is based on Newgate Prison. This was a notorious prison in London during the Golden Age of pirates. Number 42. Lafitte. Named after John Lafitte, a French pirate who was active in the Gulf of Mexico in the 19th century. They would eventually become spies during the Mexican War of Independence, and this possibly led to the One Piece version sneaking into Mary Joie to suggest that Blackbeard become a warlord. Number 43. Sengoku. named after the Sengoku period in Japan, known for its extensive naval and military conflict, likely leading to Sengoku's role as Fleet Admiral. Number 45. Skypiea. The design of Skypiea is largely based on the idea of the Christian heaven, however the relationship of its inhabitants is more likely based on an allegory for colonial invaders on natives in America. Number 45. Enel. Enel, much like Ace, names his attacks after mythology. He uses primarily thunder deities though. For example, Songo, El Thor, and Kari are based on Yoruban, Norse, and Malayan thunder gods respectively. Furthermore, Enel has the tomoe marked on his drums, which is likely a reference to Raijin. Number 46. Shandora. This was based on the city of El Dorado, a mythical city in South America that was supposed to be completely made of gold. This was supposedly found by the Spanish explorer Francisco de Orellana, a person which likely inspired Mont Blanc Nolan. Number 47. Frankie. Frankie, whose real name is Cutty Flam, is a reference to the sailing ships the Cutty Sark and the Fram. Number 48. Tom. Tom is likely based around the character Tom Builder in Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth. Tom Builder was an architect with 2 pupils, and when he was killed during a raid, one of his students carried on his dream. Number 49. Kumadori. Kumadori's design and name are based on the stage makeup worn by kabuki actors, typically in the Aragoto style. Number 50. Baskerville. This name is likely taken from the Hounds of Baskerville in the Sherlock Holmes series. Furthermore, in Umberto Eco's novel The Name of the Rose, the character William of Baskerville is an inquisitor who presided on English and Italian trials, likely leading to Baskerville's role in One Piece. Number 51. The Library of Ohara. The Lost Library of Ancient Knowledge, which was destroyed in a Buster Call, is based on the Library of Alexandria, which burned in 48 BC under Julius Caesar. Number 52. The Tree of Knowledge and Ohara. The ancient tree in Ohara likely got its name from the Old Hara, which is the oldest known tree in the world at about 5,000 years old, while the themes, more surrounded in the idea of forbidden knowledge, are likely linked to the Garden of Eden's Tree of Knowledge. Number 53. The Admirals. The original 3 admirals, Aokiji, Aka Inu, and Kizaru, are based on the Momotaro legends, in which Momotaro befriends a pheasant, a dog, and a monkey. The later admirals, being Fujitora and Green Bull, are also represented by a tiger and a bull, which Momotaro protects from an Oni. This most likely reflects Kaido in this context. On top of this, Momotaro himself appears in One Piece as he inspires Momonosuke. Number 54. Shakazuki. Shakazuki is based on the Japanese actor Bunta Sugawara. Sugawara had 3 movies with Shakazuki in their title. Number 55. Kuzan. Kuzan's design is based on the Japanese actor Yusaku Matsuda. Number 56. Borsellino. Borsellino's design is based on the Japanese actor Kunio Tanaka, while his name, birthday, and clothing are based on roles that Tanaka played in his youth. Number 57. Fujitora. Fujitora is based on the actor Shintaro Katsu, more specifically in his role of the blind swordsman. Number 58. Kizaru's attacks. The attacks Yata no Kagami, Ama no Murakumo, and Yasaki no Magatama are based on the 3 sacred treasures of Japan. Number 59. Brook's Laugh. Brook's laughter style, which is yo-ho-ho-ho, comes from the Dead Man's Chest, a sea shanty from Treasure Island. Number 60. The Florian Triangle. This is based on the Bermuda Triangle, a region in the northern Atlantic known for having ships and planes go missing, this being shown as Brook was lost there for over 50 years. The triangle is also famous for people believing that paranormal activities happen there, which kind of leads to Thriller Bark, an island known for its horror themes. Number 61. Dr. Hogback. Based on Victor Frankenstein, a mad scientist obsessed with bringing the dead back to life. Number 62. Victoria Sindri. As a girl obsessed with plates, she is likely related to the Japanese ghost story Bancho Sarayashiki, or the Dish Mansion of Bancho. This is further supported by her first appearance, which is her coming out of a well. Number 63. Gecko Moria. Moria is named after a mix of the H.G. Wells novel The Island of Dr. Moreau and komori, the Japanese word for bat. Number 64. Jean Bart. Named after the pirate, Jean Bart, who became a folk hero in Dunkirk. He was known for being fairly tall, leading to Jean Bart's design. Number 65. Sentomaru. His design is heavily based on the Japanese folk hero Kintaro, who was known for wearing nothing but a bib while carrying a massive axe and sumo wrestling bears. Number 66. Jewelry Bonnie. Named after the 18th century Irish woman Anne Bonny, who was a noble turned pirate in the Caribbean. Number 67. Eustace Captain Kidd. Kidd is named after two separate pirates. The first was a French pirate in the 13th century named Eustace the Monk, and the second is the 17th century Scottish pirate William Captain Kidd. Number 68. Capone Beji, named after the American gangster Al Capone from the 1920s. Number 69. Basil Hawkins. Hawkins takes his name from a mix of Basil Ringrose and John Hawkins. That being said, Hawkins is also the name for the main character in Treasure Island. Number 70. Trafalgar D. Water Law. Law is named after some of Napoleon's most famous battles, with the Battle of Trafalgar being his last victory, and Waterloo, or Waterlaw in One Piece's case, being his ultimate defeat. Number 71. X-Drake, named after the 16th century English adventurer Sir Francis Drake. Number 72. Amazon Lily, based on the mythical city of Themyscira, the capital of the Amazons in Greek mythology. Number 73. The Boa Sisters, based on the Gorgons in Greek myth, with Hancock even being able to turn people to stone. Number 74. Boa Hancock. All three of the Boa sisters are based on the mythical Gorgon, including Medusa. However, Hancock specifically is based on several women in Greek myth. For example, Calypso, who inhabited an island of only women who were irresistible to men. However, a hero shows up who can resist their charm and later asks for a boat. Much like Luffy, she can also be related to Penthesilea, the empress of the Amazons who was a slave in her youth but later escaped with her two sisters. Penthesilea was also an archer, which is referenced in Hancock's slave arrows. Number 75. Tequila Wolf, based off the Burma Railway, which was built in World War II, where over 116,000 prisoners died building the railway, with most of them being lost in the Hellfire Pass near the Kwai Bridge. Number 76. Impel Down. Impel Down is based on several depictions of hell, primarily pulling references from Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy and the multiple layers of hell. However, the Crimson Hell comes from the Chinese story The Hell of Sword Tree and Knife Hill. Number 77. Hannibal. He was largely inspired by Egyptian themes, having an Anubis-style headpiece and being designed around the Amarna style of Egyptian art. His name, however, is based off the Japanese Hanya mask. Number 78. Magellan. Magellan might be my favorite on this list. His name comes from the Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, who died from a poison arrow, which likely leads into his devil fruit ability. His design as a whole, however, resembles the pagan deity Baphomet, and his character might be more referenced to the Belphegor, a slothful prince of hell who is often depicted as a horned, bearded man who is usually on a toilet. Number 79. Imperio Ivankov. Ivankov is largely inspired by Dr. Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Number 80. Portcullis de Rouge, named after the Jolly Roger, as the term originated from Jolie and Rouge. Number 81. Vice Admiral Bastille, named after the French fortress which acted as a state prison for the King of France. Number 82. Avalo Pizarro, named after the Pizarro brothers who were Spanish conquistadors. Number 83. San Juan Wolf. San Juan Wolf's name comes from the Spanish warship, the San Juan Nepomuceno. Number 84. Vasco Shot. Vasco Shot is likely based off Vasco Núñez de Balboa, a Spanish conquistador. Number 85. Damaro Black. Damaro Black is likely based on Ferdinand Waldo Damara, known to be able to impersonate people inconspicuously. There's even stories of him passing as a surgeon on a Navy ship just by speed reading a textbook and then performing surgeries with flawless success. Number 86. Vanderdecken. Vanderdecken is based off the character Van der Decken in The Phantom Ship by Frederick Marryat, who also captained the Flying Dutchman. Number 87. Hordy Jones, named after the Devil of the Sea, Davy Jones. Number 88. Neptune, based on the Roman god of the sea. Number 89. Otohime, the daughter of the Japanese sea god Ryujin. Number 90. Big Mom. Charlotte Linland takes her name from Charlotte Badger, while her character's design and personality is inspired largely by Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. The Queen of Hearts giving her selfishness, size, and short temper, while the Hatter's obsession with tea parties and the Duchess's mood swings and relationships with their children largely play into who she is as a character. Number 91. Big Mom's Weapons. Prometheus is named after the Greek titan who gave fire to man. Zeus is the Greek god known for throwing thunderbolts, and Napoleon is a French emperor who took his title in a revolution, largely inspiring the sword-based design. Number 92. Raijin Island. This thundery island is based on the phenomenon called Catatumbo lightning. Along the Catatumbo River in Venezuela, the atmosphere creates an everlasting storm. This causes lightning storms on average 160 nights of the year, 10 hours a day, and striking 280 times per hour. All of this has been fairly regular since the 1600s. Number 93. Monet. Named after the French painter Claude Monet, and designed after a mixture of a harpy and the Yuki-onna. Number 94. Caesar Clown. Named in reference to Julius Caesar. The clown part of his name is a play on the Romanji for the word crown. This reference is further tied together as Julius Caesar was kidnapped by pirates, just as Caesar Clown was kidnapped by Law and Luffy. In terms of personality and character traits, Caesar Clown also pulls reference from Joseph Mengele, the Nazi doctor who was given the title Angel of Death for the human experiments he performed, many of which involving gas. Number 95. Giola. Her design is based on Dame Edna Everage, while her devil fruit uses are inspired by the painters Salvador Dali, Edvard Munch, and Pablo Picasso. Number 96. Pika. Largely based on the mythological Greek half-giant Antaeus. Both Pika and Antaeus are effectively invincible while in contact with the ground, but are easily defeated when in the air. Number 97. Kyros. Named after the founder of the First Persian Empire, Cyrus the Great, while the toy soldier portion of his life was more inspired by the Nutcracker. Number 98. Cavendish. Known for his slight personality change, Cavendish's personality is largely inspired by Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. His name, however, was inspired by Thomas Cavendish, an English explorer who was massively talented at capturing enemy ships. Number 99. Corrida Colosseum. The Corrida Colosseum was inspired by the Roman Colosseum, while the country it's on, Dressrosa, is largely inspired by Spain instead. Number 100. Orlumbus. Based on Christopher Columbus, with a pun of adding O at the beginning to imply that he is large. I also kinda like that he's known as the Massacre Ruler, since Christopher Columbus was kind of the worst. Number 101. Suleiman. Named after Suleiman Reis, a Barbary pirate who worked under the Ottomans in the 17th century. Number 102. Hayreddin. Hayreddin is named after the Ottoman fleet admiral Hayreddin Barbarossa. Number 103. Kaido. Kaido has the title of Wise King in Wano. This is based on the Wisdom Kings, who are Buddhist deities. On top of that, his name comes from Kintaro, a hero from Japanese myth. Number 104. Jack. Jack is named after Calico Jack Rackman, a pirate from the 1700s who was seeing Anne Bonny, aka Jewelry Bonny. She was cheating on her husband at the time, and when he found out, he ordered a judge to have her whipped. Instead, she said, hell no, and ran away with Jack instead. Number 105. Zunisha. The design for Zunisha is based off of a Salvador Dali painting, while the concept as a whole is based on the Hindu idea of a world elephant, which is basically a group of elephants standing on a turtle that carry the world on their backs. Number 106. Perospero. Perospero's design is largely based on Willy Wonka. Number 107. Daifuku. The lamp fruit gives the ability to summon a genie, referring to the genie of the lamp in Aladdin from the Book of 1001 Nights. Number 108. Mother Caramel. Named after the Carmelites, a religious order in Japan known for selling sweets. She may also be a reference to the lost children of Francoism, as these were children who were abducted by a Francoist troop and the Spanish Catholic Church, all tying together as she's basically a nun who sells children. Number 109. Pandora. The homie created by Caramel is named after the girl in Greek myth who was the first woman created by the gods. Her creation was ordered by Zeus as a punishment for humanity after Prometheus stole the gift of fire, connecting Zeus, Prometheus, and Pandora. Number 110. Bello Betty. Likely a reference to Betsy Ross, who designed the American flag during the American Revolutionary War, as Bello Betty is a major figure in the Revolutionary Army in One Piece. Number 111. Lindbergh. Based on the aviator and the inventor Charles Lindbergh. This was the first person to make a non-stop solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean, as well as being a good friend and supporter of Robert Goddard, the father of modern rocketry. Number 112. Ym. His name likely refers to Ymir in Norse mythology, a being that is said to have created the earth, the sky, and the oceans. Number 113. The Vice Admirals. Like the Admirals, there are some Vice Admirals that are based on Japanese actors. Gion is designed after Michio Kogure, while Tokikake is based on Kiyoshi Atsumi. Number 114. Beehive Island. Beehive Island is largely inspired as a mixture of Tortuga Island and Port Royal in Jamaica, both of these places being known as havens for piracy in the 1600s. Port Royal was even known as a pirate utopia in the 1660s. However, despite this, Port Royal was also known for earthquakes and tsunamis, something that Blackbeard's Gura Gura no Mi might refer to. Number 115. Kozuki Hiyori. Hiyori used the alias Komurasaki, likely based off Miuriya Komurasaki, a high-ranking courtesan from Kitagawa Utamaro's painting The Lovers Miuriya Komurasaki and Shirai Gonpachi, in which Gonpachi commits crimes to buy her freedom, but when this results in his death, Komurasaki ends her life as well. Number 116. Tama. Tama's devil fruit allows her to take dango from her cheek and feed them to animals to control them. This is likely based on the Japanese folktale of a lump-removing old man, in which an old man befriends ogres and then removes lumps off of his cheek. Number 117. Ashura Doji and Shuten Maru. These two are collectively based on the Japanese mythical leader Shuten Doji. Number 118. Kurozumi Orochi. His devil fruit is based on the mythical 8-headed and 8-tailed Yamato no Orochi. Number 119. Kozuki Odin. Odin is based off of Hercules and the labors that he faced. For example, Odin is seen to be bending a river in Wano. This reflects how Hercules needed to bend a river to clear one of his labors. And finally, 120. Rox D. Zebek. If we're starting with the king of the pirates, we should end with his greatest rival. Rox D. Zebek was named after the notoriously cruel pirate, Rox the Brazilian. Rox was known for leading mutinies and capturing enemy ships, but he was eventually captured by the Spanish government until he escaped. Rox would threaten and actually shoot anyone who refused to drink with him. If he had prisoners, he would cut off their limbs, and he had this fun little habit of burning people alive. That being said, after 1671 he vanished, and it's unclear if he died at sea or lived his life in anonymity, much like Rox D. Zebek in the One Piece story. And the Zebek is also a type of ship. But there you have it, 120 references in One Piece which relate to history, mythology, or geography in our own world. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I do anime content as often as possible. Be sure to let me know which of these references were your favorite in the comment section down below, or if I missed any references that you really like yourself. Like I said, I definitely have enough points for a part 2 if that's something that you guys are looking for. With all that being said though, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. It was a ton of fun to work on, and I will see you in the next one. Stay excellent.